Good evening from Crash Clinic. Welcome again. 1 week has flown by since the ABP launched their new rates. Obviously, I spoke about this last week. It was very exciting times. I thought, yes, they rushed to get it out. We're all excited. There's increases in the industry. Excuse me, but what's happened with them in the last 7 days? I'll be really interested. How many people have increased their rates? None. That's what I reckon. And it's a shame, of course. So tonight, I just thought, you have to excuse me, voice is going today. I've been doing a lot of talking because I'm a little bit short-staffed. I'm very, very busy, but still. So, yeah, I wanted to just touch on, I've been thinking about it all week. There's a couple of issues. One of them was contracts. Because everything I am touching, everything I am booking, ordering is going through the roof. And I don't mean like a little increase. I actually thought fair play to Adatex at first for putting a little payment increase of 7% and thought, wow, someone's done something. But when I look at it now, 7% is probably an insult to injury because the actual I ordered a skip yesterday. Skip last year during COVID had probably gone up a little bit, in fairness, to about 120 quid, 150 quid. Build a skip. We're looking at 250 to 300 pounds for a builder skip. So I'm just going to say first hello to Phil. Phil Shedden, how are you? Two of the better providers I work with increased their rates on Friday. Wow. The majority haven't acted on the new ABP rates yet, though. Phil, drop me a message. I'd love to know who those providers are. Maybe they're very good providers and deserve a shout out. I don't know. But for me, nothing has happened. Nothing's gone up. And even down to the skips. Now, we have a lot of skips at work to get rid of things. And I had a guy here last week as well who sat there and said, panel wipes, sorry, because of the fuel increases, etc., we're having to rack up the panel. Absolutely everything, because I'm pretty sure you are seeing exactly the same thing. And it's absolutely, if I'm honest, it's blown my mind because it's not gone up slightly. It's not gone up, I even thought, you can't, increasing your labour rate by a couple of quid is not going to fix what's happening in the industry or what's happening in the world, I should say, because even our gas and electric, I bet you a couple of pound raise in the labour rate won't even fix that. So we've got some major issues happening. They're happening now. And if we don't increase them, I dread to think what's going to happen. What it's made me do now is I'm having to look at all my contracts so thoroughly with a view to sort of saying I'm actually putting them in a spreadsheet, piecing them out side by side to say I'm now going to call the work providers and I've got no choice to ask, are you increasing anything on this contract that I agreed 6 months ago? Because 6 months ago was a totally different ball game, or a year ago, because now if these contracts aren't increasing, I can't carry on doing the work. And I'm pretty sure you've got contracts that are exactly the same, because I'd rather have an empty workshop making no money than losing money. So, and I think we're getting into that sort of concept, and I'll touch on that in a second, because where is our industry going? And this is I personally think, getting very serious now, guys. Crash Clinic was born to sort of bring us all together, give us a platform that we could talk, discuss, find things out. But I actually think it's far exceeding now. We're rushing ahead. Things are changing. I said it was going to change fast, but I didn't think it was going to change this fast. So I think we need to come together to talk. We've had this week alone, Steer Group have bought AWS, of course. That's made them even bigger. And it makes you wonder that something's got to happen in the industry. And I actually even think, as bad as maybe even a work a body shop strike. You're going to have this going across industries at the minute, because it's not just in our industry. I know that for a fact. But I don't think insurers are going to listen to any of us. And I think people are actually, we're now trying to say we've got to put our paint up, and people are already moaning about it. We're like, wow. And I don't think the paint's gone up enough. But we've got the Steer Group have obviously now bought AWS. That's made them even bigger. So is the future bigger repairers? And our bigger repairers going to try and buy up the competition, buy up the small independents, so they can then have full control, that they turn around to the insurers and have the balls to say, we're not doing your work unless you ramp up the costings. Because if we don't do it, we're not going to survive. And I can't, I'm looking at figures and looking at everything that's inflating around us, thinking, wow, we just can't, it just can't keep going on. So I'm going through my contracts. I would really, really suggest that you go through your own, because there's some, at the end of the day now, there's a lot of money being taken from work providers. And if you look in your contracts, you'll really, really see that is pretty bad now. Phil, great to have you on again. Thanks for joining in. Be interesting to hear the answers when you've spoken with them. Yes, exactly. Your fault work will increase by £2 if you're lucky. But Phil, you know as well as I do, £2, let's be honest, it's not even worth accepting. It's like, you know what, forget it. The contract's got to go. A couple of shops I work with have turned off fault contracts in the past fortnight, and we've replaced them with non-fault providers at labour rates. Exactly. I was just going to say that, Phil. We're all going to be back to fighting for non-fault work. And, well, some don't. Some say, there's a lot of body shops out there that run themselves off fault contracts. Now, I'm looking at it that I know I'm not going to be able to survive from that. And we're very lucky. We bought our premises many, many years ago. So I haven't actually got any rent or got any sort of overheads that way that a lot of repairers have. Because I don't see no one's sort of speaking up saying we're going to increase something, we're going to do something. Something has to happen drastically. Now, that's without what I'm going to lead on to, which I've been talking about over the last few weeks, which is parts. I don't know about you guys, but I've just realized over the last sort of 7 to 10 days, and I've had to look at this because I'm thinking, this is just unbelievable, really. If you've got a contract that is taking 5 or 10% off you on parts, we've had a lot of jobs in the last week where, especially one this week, and I'm going to tell you outright, we've spent about £3,500 on parts. The parts provider has said, you must pay for the parts or we won't order them. Why? Because there's a backlog till November. I mentioned this the other week, but it's kind of moved on now, because I've sort of thought, wow, I have now got to spend £3,500 on the parts to get them ordered, because they're worried because they're a back order. I'm not ordering them unless you pay for them, because blah, 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 in 3 months' time. So we've now outlaid £3,500, one car, bearing in mind we do 25, 35 a week. So one car, £3,500. I'm not even going to see that car till November. It's in because it's undrivable. Courtesy car, gone for months. Should I really be forking out that cost? I don't think I should. So let's face it, we gave courtesy cars. We agreed to certain terms because our contracts were very quick. Our jobs were in and out very quick. And we relied on a bit of speed and volume. Speed and volume is becoming harder and harder because we're having to take on more jobs to try and get at some that we can actually get parts for and actually get repaired. So we've got quite a lot of jobs that we've now bought parts, excuse me. So we've bought parts for them, and the parts are now paid for. The job's not touched. Should I outlay that money? And then when I bill that job, so November, probably bill it in December, I wait 30 days for my money and I lose 10% on the parts. Wow, it blew my mind when I thought about it. And I thought, because this is only happening now, guys. All these new scenarios are happening now. So I thought, this has got to stop. Insurers and these contracts need to actually look and go, you know what? He's right. We cannot any longer take percentages off these guys. We have to store them. We have to have a guy that runs them and looks after them. But not just that now. These people are saying, although you've ordered all those parts and we've got half of them are on back order, we want you to have the other parts because we don't want to store them. They don't want to store them because it's going to cost them money to store them. They might get damaged. They might get the problems. So at the moment, I think in our industry, we are becoming a bank. It's just, honestly, it blew my mind. It still blows my mind when I'm saying it to you now. So I've ordered that. I'm pretty sure some of you have got the same situation. I've ordered the parts, can't get them till November, and I've had to pay for them already. So I believe there has to be a new charge. Something new's got to happen. Why is that money out of my bank making me struggle when I'm just offering a service? So there needs to be a new parts facility charge, credit charge, something where we say, you know what, we're having to now put 20% on top of the parts, 30% even, to cover for us outlaying our money for 3 months, 6 months, 4 months. Is this going to get worse in the next coming months? As we all get busier when the winter months come, we've got a lot of problems coming, guys, and we're not. There's no way on earth I'm doing it for nothing. I'm looking now saying, right, we've got to invent a new charge that covers what we're doing. What we call it, I don't know, but we're basically funding them parts for an insurer, for the customer, for nothing. And in fact, to lose 10% on our normal trade value. That's wrong. So for me, I'm already trying to look at the fee. I'm looking around 30% to say, if I've now got to order parts, pay in advance, wait 3 months, I want 30% on top of that. Unless the insurer is going to fund them parts. And I think they still think they should fund them parts at the proper rate, so we still make a little bit of money. So I'm interested in talking to you guys. I'm interested in your opinions, of course, because these are things that are happening that are new. And I think that's massive myself. Paul Ives, great to have you on again. As super steerer getting bigger, could be a good thing, as the tail might start wagging. Yes, well, wagging the dog on labour rates. But are they going to try and get as many of us out the way before they sort of try and take control? Is that going to happen? Are insurers going to allow it? It's interesting. It's interesting because the more power they get, they can strike themselves. They've got even more work. But this is where Crash Clinic is supposed to bring us guys together. Imagine if all the independents went on strike. Something's got to happen. I'm just saying. Do you know, we've got to, insurers ain't going to just come to us and say, hey guys, sorry, we know you're struggling here. They're just going to go, keep going bust, and we'll keep dealing with the steer group. What happens then? Does the steer group, because these insurers aren't looking at this, they're probably going to down the line, down tools and say, unless you whack the labour rates up, we're not doing it. Or will a nationwide happen to steer group? You just don't know. For all we know, it could be investors backing him up at the moment. And then when, you know, let's face it, I don't care. Nobody can earn money at the moment in this industry with everything that's going on. It's going to get worse. You're losing parts. Everything's going up outrageously. And we have to do something. We really do. The only thing I can see is people doing naughty things, making money. And that's wrong. I'm not prepared to do that. So it's getting very interesting at the moment, guys. I really, really want to know what are the things you're picking up that is as bad as this. Because I only thought about this the other day and thought, wow, I've paid that money out now for, where are we? We're in July, August, September, October, November, 4 months. I've got $3,500 out there doing nothing to get a job to give probably 10% discount on them parts to somebody. Wow, it blew my mind. Anyway, Sean Harris, great to have you on as well, of course. Thanks for joining. That was Nationwide's vision to be the only nationwide repair option and to become big enough to be able to tell the work provider what the rates are. Yes, and unfortunately, obviously, that didn't work for them because there's not enough money in it. You've got to get there to get these rates up. I just think now is a bad time. Everything's going up through the roof. I couldn't believe it when the skip was £300. It's doubled. I said, come on, man. He went, sorry, mate, that's it. We're all doing it. They're sticking together. They're all up the rate, so you can't go and get a skip cheaper. You know what? I take it off to them. They may have a skip social network where they're coming together to make things better. That's what we've got to do. We've got to do something because the ABP, bless them, you know, I think they were trying to help, if I'm honest. I really think they tried to do something good for the industry. But if no one takes note, pointless. I said last week, that paper is pointless unless someone's going to do something. So they've had their little try. We were all excited. I was excited to see it. Oh, yeah, but nothing's happened. Nothing at all. Let's have a look. We've got Robert Samuels. Nice to have you on as well, sir. Thanks. I thank everybody for joining in because this is what we need. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear what things you're complaining at. Insurance companies should pay up front for the parts if they're over £1,000. I've just done an X5. MPhil, yeah, and they have £6,000 worth of parts, but no discount. It's wrong, isn't it? It's Samuel, that's £6,000 of your money going out. But this is the key here, Samuel. This is what's happening to us now. You've paid £6,000 for them parts, and what is it going to get any worse? Because I don't know. But let's just say now they only send you £4,000, £3,000 worth. You can't start the job, and you've got a job stuck on site, and it's your money that's outlaid. So we're now becoming banks for the insurers who've got plenty of money. And it can't happen. We can't continue like this. So for me, we've got to create a new charge that if this situation is happening, you know, once we order them parts and they say, boom, can't get your parts for 2 months, but we have to pay for them now, or even if you pay for them now, you get lucky enough to get 30 days nowadays, you're still going to pay for them before you get them. It's not good enough for us anymore. So there has to be, well, I say, you don't have to conjure any charger. I actually think now parts should be plus 30%. For all the hassles, for all the problems, we need to do something to make this money back that we're all laying out. And let's face it, I'm still not happy at laying out $3,500 at 30% on top of it because I don't want my money out. I want it in turning round every month. It's stuck there. Let's face it, that's what we're supposed to do. Once you're a business established, your money, your pot of money turns around and keeps making some money. We're finding more and more everything's turning around, but it's stopping. Another job, it's stopping. And this is all, the parts for me is a massive, massive problem of it. The contracts that aren't changing are becoming a massive, well, I'm going through every one. I recommend you go through yours. I found one, a new contract someone sent me this week. They want me to insure the courtesy car. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. If you've got insurance, a trade policy, it's the most expensive thing. It's going through the roof. Every time you have an accident, your insurance goes through the roof. Why should we, again, take another hit on someone? I'm just like, no, my insurers won't do it. No, I can't put you on my insurance. End of story. And won't. The cheek of it. I think it's outrageous. That customer's got insurance. He's insured by someone who's asking us for discounts and cheaper repairs. Insure the bloody car. Give them an automatic transfer. They should be insured on that courtesy car as they've got insurance on their own. Because what it also does is if someone unscrupulous has got a courtesy car from you and they realize it's on your insurance, oh, hey, off we go, cash for crash and all that stuff in your car. Wow, no way. It's not happening on my watch, but you guys need to look at your contracts. Anything now for me where there's too much of a risk, there's too many problems, I'm not doing it. I'd rather have an empty workshop than lose money. That's what you've got to look at now, guys. If you're losing money on a contract, there's no point having it whatsoever. Terry Swan, this is 100% right and very relevant at the moment, Terry. As we know, we're actually going through this right now. Jason Shepherd, great to, obviously, you've left the industry, of course, and I hope you're doing well, my friend. I left the industry because there's no end in sight. Now doing something much more profitable and no stress. I remember you leaving it, Jason, and I remember you were very stressed about it all. But I bet, I'm going to bet with you now, and you please answer me this. I bet it was the best thing you've ever done. I bet you, and I want to hear your answer. I bet it was the best thing you've ever done, even though you were worried because we're all stuck in that rut and of what we're doing. But now things are getting so bad. I'm saying, you know what? I'd rather repair Go and buy a car that's damaged, repair it and sell it. At least there might be some profit in that, because there's no point in having a contract with no profit in. Full stop. We've really got to start, ramming this home, lads, because it's true. Kia have new cars unsold that have problems. 4th month without parts, and that car's now sit. Crikey. See, these are the world's going mad. We know that anyway, but it's just getting worse. Don't get me started on courtesy cars, though. Yeah, I mean, supplying them, in my own opinion, what should happen in this industry, I really believe it. We should not be supplying courtesy cars free. There should be a charge, because it's a charge to us. We should not be giving parts discount. We should be charging retail and getting the best discounts we can, of course. And if we don't get any discount, we should be putting a +10. We have to be paid for handling those parts. Now, I don't think it's going to change. I'd love to know, by the way, Jason, please answer me that question. Best thing is sitting by a pond for 3 days earning money for cars behind me while I have a coffee. Oh, so you're absolutely loving it, aren't you? Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Terry Monaghan, fantastic. PJ Rhodes, it's you should be on TV, Darren. Good debate. This is the time now. Right for change. Thanks for that, Terry. Yes, the industry is broken. It's absolutely outrageously. Who will buy Steer? Is he building it up to be bought? Most likely. I would think most of us would believe that as well. Someone will, I reckon, and soon. Exactly. An insurer looking to grab capacity, they must be really concerned. It's hard. Terry, you couldn't, exactly now. This is why I started Crash Clinic, is I kind of realized this was going to happen. I didn't realize things were going to change as drastic as this and as fast as this, because there's capacity. Well, there wouldn't be capacity issues, because I'm pretty sure you guys are like us. If there was enough money in it, I'd open day and night. I'd open another site. There's just not enough money in it. And at the minute, too many problems. I mean, I go away from this and I start thinking again, and more problems come out for next week. But the parts is ripe. It's happening right now. I really can't believe that I've had to buy parts this week at $3.5 grand, and I'm not even going to see them till November. Is it going to get worse? Because no one can answer that. So we've got to do something, guys, and standing together now. I know over the years, everyone's gone, yeah, everyone talks and no one's prepared to do it. Yeah, that's been all right, because it hasn't been as bad as this. Because the reality is, if you can turn money around, even if you're earning a few quid, some people have been happy for that. You can't turn money around quick enough, and you can't earn money out of it at the moment. And I think people are really missing this, because our gas has gone up, our electric's gone up. I mean, it's going to take a few months for us to start going, shit, how much has this gone up? Like I say, if we order a skip, even just to clean the place, it's doubled. Thinners, everything is just going through the roof. Every day I'm getting a letter saying, oh, by the way, we're having to put our prices up. Oh, by the way, we're having to put our prices up. I've got no one to write to say we're putting ours up, but we're going to have to. Robert, Samuel, Darren, there's an organisation that has sorted everything you're talking about. Do you know who? There's an organisation. Right. They've Fix Auto. Are they going to buy Steer? I walked into an old workshop today, not sad about it going at all. 1/3 of life spent there, and you're not sad about it. So, see, I see a lot of people probably coming out of this industry if we don't make enough money. I know Terry Monaghan is as passionate as me. We've been here a long, long time, working hard, offering a great service, and it's becoming so hard. It's making you think, what can we do? How can we do it? We need to come together. We must come together. Fix Auto. It's never been as rife as now, because if we don't do anything, who is going to be left standing? That's the worry. Dealers shouldn't be charging for parts that are on back order. Well, Jason, sorry, I agree with you entirely, but not just that. The parts that they have got, they want to send us, and they want the money in advance because they don't keep parts anymore. And this is what I'm pretty sure you guys are as blown away as I am. I still can't believe it, but it's horrendous. So we've got the Steer Group buying up more, which I don't know if that came as a shock to everybody. Are they going to try and control the industry? Who knows? Fix Auto. I'd led to believe from a little birdie that a few people in Fix Auto are coming out. Don't know if that's true or not, but the industry is very, very hard right now. And it's actually very concerning right now. So again, guys, I'd love to hear from you. I actually want you to drop me a line, drop me something that you think's happening right now that's really bad, because we need to share the information. I am seriously considering now, I'm looking at my parts saying, can't do this anymore. Just can't do it. Now, when you're forced into a corner, which I believe all of us body shops are being forced into a corner now, we are going to have to stand together. And I don't think it's going to be a matter of, like over the years where someone undercuts somebody and all that. We've got no choice. Things haven't gone up a little bit. Things have gone through the roof. So that means we need to do something drastic. And I just don't see it happening. ABP, again, good try. Welcome try. But insurers, if they're not going to take it on board, it ain't going to help us at all. I only meant to be quick tonight, guys, so I'm not going to bore you too much because I just wanted to really home in on those 3 points for me tonight. Jason was passionate from the 80s until now. I moaned and moaned and moaned, and it put me in a bad place. One phone call changed my life for the past few weeks. So there we go, guys. It's great to hear for you, Jason, of course. I don't take this in the wrong manner, but it's a sad thing for us that are left in the industry to be hearing people are happy excuse me, to leave the industry. It's quite a saddening thing, to be honest. People are happy to leave this industry now. Anyway, guys, I hope I've given you enough content there. Don't forget, get to that website and join it. I want to make the website better. We can have chats on there, totally independent of anybody, because no one outside of our industry gets to see it. I vet everybody who joins. So yes, insurers can join other people, but we have a private wall. No one can see it. I want to hear from you. I want to communicate as things are happening. What problems are you having? What are the concerns? Not that I've missed. I don't want to go over too many problems each week because like now, I just want to hit with a few things so we can let it sink in. Parts for me personally at the minute is massive. I just think it's going to get worse. I don't see it getting better at the moment. Because no one I'm talking to parts people, I hope you are too, asking them what's going on. Is it going to get any better? No one has any answers, and that frightens me a little bit. But things for us are starting to get worse. As I say, I'm waiting for parts till November and paying for them in advance. It's not happening. So I'm looking at my contracts. Terry Monaghan, very bravely, take my hat off to you there, Terry, I know he kicked out some contracts in the last few weeks. Very brave, but you know what? Probably the best thing he ever did, Terry, if I'm totally honest. ABP just cancelled subscription, just another making machine. Terry, you know what? I've just actually sat there this week and said, you've got to look at all these charges because that's how serious it's getting. I pay for BSI for a couple of the contracts that I've got. And don't get me wrong, I think the BSI is a great thing if we could all afford it. Because again, they come in and they do audits and they stop you working and they get all this, all for us to have these great value to our business. It doesn't bring us in any extra money. And that's the problem. Most of the contracts now, they don't even want to pay you for it. They're saying, yeah, charge for it, but then we're having a knockback off it. You're only getting a couple of quid. It's disgraceful, really. It's becoming, I don't know. I'm going to be here every week chatting about it. Maybe when I've gone through these contracts, I'm probably going to start ripping them to pieces. I may even, if I've got rid of them, then start to sort of talk about the contracts and how bad they are. But guys, we're in this together. We're all, for all us independents, what are we going to do? How are we going to combat this? I want to hear from you. I want your ideas. I want to, what other things do you want to discuss? Just like the Fix Autos, and is there anybody else now that's that big? And the Steer Group, is that the way to go? Are they going to be trying to get rid of everybody? Because it's coming to the stages where I think people just aren't going to want to do that work anyway. But then are they going to try and see us all off? There's some big things happening, guys and girls. We need to chat. We need to discuss. We need to keep coming together. Please drop me down some comments of issues, things you want to discuss, and I'll try and look into them and bring them up on the next show. Please send me an email if you want to, of course, Darren@crashclinic.com. and we'll discuss these issues. They're serious. Like Terry just said earlier, the industry is definitely broken right now, more so than it's ever been. It's ripe for change right now. I think everybody, and I actually think even insurers know they need change. They must be going, oh, crikey. You know, these body shops can't live with this. So what's going to happen to them? They must be thinking what's going to happen. We're thinking, how do we change it? We've got to do something soon. So, guys and girls, thanks ever so much for tuning in. Again, I'm just here to try and voice an opinion. Please join in. Please help us. Please look to join Crash Clinic. It's only $39.99 a month, but it's going to help us to start doing something. And Terry, not a money-making thing. It just pays for the website. And then for us to try and do something to better, you know, together. And even that, it's only 30 quid. That was because I'm not out there to try and say, hey, I want to try and make up a load of money from you guys. I'm not. It costs me money to run the website. I'd like to get a young lad in to run it, to bring better content, because I'm very busy like you guys. I'd like to put on, you know, quarterly get-togethers, because I think we really need them. I think they would be real help at the moment. If anyone's into that, drop me a comment. Say yes, I'll definitely be into a meeting where we get together just to chat about the industry, because I think there's enough brains out there in this industry to, you know, hopefully do something positive. And don't ever think that nothing can be done, because I do hear a lot of people saying, oh, nothing can be done. It can be done. In 2001, I created the GTA that runs the non-fault accident management industry. I created it by coming to the insurers with something feasible. I spoke to the biggest insurers, the UK 5. I had all their top men in my office, the office I'm sat in right now. And we went through the industry and went through what was wrong with it, and we put it right. And don't go wrong, that GTA was fantastic for 10 years. But then the insurers have taken it even further now, and, you know, like they do, they control everything. But you can make a change. I made that back then, if I'm totally honest, on my own. But the repair industry is slightly different. We need to do that together. We need to be a stronger force. Pointless on your own. We've got no say. We've got no power. We need more strength together. So again, guys, hope I haven't bored you too much. Our industry, love or hate it, we're in it. So we've got to do more about it. And if you want to succeed and we want to keep going forward, bring me your problems. I'm pretty sure we're all having the same problems. I've just aired to you a few things that made me think this week. Maybe it'll make you think the same. We need to do some parts has got to go. Discounts has got to go. And I actually think we've got to put something on top of it. Labour rates have got to increase. And I do think Zone 99, you contract people, if there's anyone out there watching, you've got to stop taking that off us, guys. You know, if I'm being totally honest, you contract guys that do the contracts. If you let the repairers have everything they wanted, or they should be charging, and just took 10%, you'd still be worth millions. So look at what you're doing before. If the body shops go, you're going to go as work providers as well, or you're going to suffer as well. We're in this together. Let's keep talking. Crash Clinic, the Repairer Social Network. Let's see you next Tuesday. Please give me some content. Give me anything you're worried about. Thanks again for joining. It's great to have everybody who's joined in. Really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a fantastic week. And I hope nothing else goes up. Because I know for me, I'm fed up with it. But there you go. We'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week. Take care, gang.